Welcome to a new daily top AskReddit video. Today's topic.
People in their 40s, what's something people in their 20s don't realize is going to affect them when they age? Not putting in the work to maintain relationships. Having friends in your 20s is accidental. Having friends in your 40s is a part-time job. Spot on. I'm in my mid-30s and put a lot of effort in maintaining my friendships. I see those that took them for granted complaining about having no friends. Unfortunately, putting in a lot of effort meant nothing when most of my friends decided in their 40s to abandon their first wife and children for a 20-something second wife. I didn't care for that trend, so they kind of cut me loose. Can confirm. I'm 34 and have zero friends now despite having an extremely active social life in my 20s. For real. And you're casually running into people on campus, it's easy. When there's parties all the time, it's easy. When you're 40 with a job and kids in a new city, you have to be very intentional. Bad habits become harder to recover from and can lead to health problems the rest of your life. Not just in catastrophic ways but in little ways like bad joints or aches and pains. Stay mobile, stay healthy. It's been proven that if you keep exercising you lose much less muscle mass as you age. In your 40s it's not so bad, but 60s, 70s, 80s, people start looking like skeletons. Also, don't listen to loud music. Wear earphones at concerts. Wear proper ear protection if you're shooting guns. Tinnitus is a nightmare. I haven't heard silence in so long. It can happen earlier, but it can get worse as you age. Can confirm the hearing protection point. Used to shoot sporting clays with my dad and he frequently forgot hearing protection, we used napkins instead. The ringing is endless and sometimes it becomes overwhelming. Age 35. Working at a desk with bad posture destroys your back. Integrate walks, standing desk, and lumbar support before you start having chronic back pain. Once you get it, it's really hard to get out of. This is so true. I had a normal desk job, sitting 9 hours a day. Got back problems in my 40s. Physical therapist said it was due to my poor posture hunched over a desk all day. Still have BSCK problems at 70. Not wearing ear protection at concerts. Having tinnitus sucks. Not just concerts, loud bars and nightclubs. Also the overuse of headphone. Everyone uses headphones for phone calls. Zoom meetings, gaming, music, at unsafe levels. I hope they find a cure for tinnitus with stem cells. I got mine from a vacuum cleaner. A fucking vacuum cleaner. I'll never stop being mad about it. Edit, people are asking, so I'll copy this from responses I gave further down. I was moving out of an old apartment. I think it was using the blade attachment and running it in the windowsills and corners. It makes a really nasty, sharp, high-pitched sound, and I drilled it into my ear holes for over an hour straight. After I turned it off, I couldn't hear out of my right ear for about an hour. The hearing came back, actually good as ever, but it brought the e along with it. If you haven't figured out a balanced diet and exercise routine by the time you are 40, you're going to start seeing negative quality of life impacts. I definitely had to make some changes when my cholesterol numbers were going in the wrong direction. Diet and exercise is important as we get older, and I want to make sure that I'm one of those, still active, old people. I'm now at the point where the choices I make will shape the rest of my life, and I have to remind myself I'm in my late 40s and not my late 20s. The good news is that I'm now course correcting and I'm already out of a lot of the risk zones. But it's hard work to remain that disciplined. Neglecting your dental health. Deciding to stop going to the dentist because you are no longer forced to by your family won't end well, trust me. That was not a smart choice I made way back when, and it affected me for years after. Honestly, it could have been much worse for me. 100% agreed, but for many people, regular dentist visits aren't an option. If you think our health insurance system is bad, check out our ridiculous dental plans. Many dental plans are basically a coupon for only the most basic services. Saving for retirement. Wish I started sooner. Reminds me of this quote every time. The best time to start saving for retirement was 10 years ago, the second best time is today. Quote, for years I was telling myself that I couldn't afford to save for retirement. The truth was I absolutely was able to, but instead I spent that money on cheap food and nights out at the bar with friends. With that being said, I don't regret making those choices when I was younger, but the point is there was always a little money here or there I could have been saving, and had I put that money into a retirement or brokerage account, I'd be in really good shape right now. This is less retirement advice and more budgeting advice. People see money available and they will spend it. Putting it somewhere that's less easy to spend will reap huge benefits later. That knee injury you think you recovered from is going to come back to haunt you. That's what the doctor said after my third knee dislocation back in high school, twice in the right, once on the left from varsity football. He said, "I don't want to scare you, but this is probably going to haunt you in your late 30s to early 40s. This is a lot of damage that you will recover from now but may cause problems down the road." Yup, it's no joke. Dislocated my knee numerous times in high school. Now I'm getting ready to schedule an osteotomy and cartilage replacement from a cadaver at just 30 years old. It's a year-long recovery. The benefits of working out. My father started regularly working out in his 40s. Nothing extreme, just consistent. He is now 87 and is still in great health. All of his doctors have credited the fact that he started regularly taking care of himself as the reason why he is doing so well. Now, the flip side of that, he has had to deal with a lot of loss, including my mother. That's a painful fact of life. As you get older, you are just going to lose people. And not just your older relatives, either. I've already lost a few friends who died way too young. And if all goes well, based on family history, I'm in good shape to live quite a long time. So I'm going to keep losing people I care about. Finding hobbies and other interests is more important than you think. It's so damn dull talking to someone who has no interests to share and can't really talk about themselves at all. And no, watching Netflix isn't a hobby. Being on Reddit isn't a hobby. As a person with many hobbies, cycling, fountain pens, birding, motorcycles, etc., I will say that watching Vanderpump and other Bravo shows is definitely a hobby, and I've enjoyed so many hours chatting with friends and strangers about whether James Kennedy has redeemed himself. I can't wait to be retired so I can play Sims all day every day until I die. Some people are made of titanium. Some people aren't. There's no way to know which is which. My friend's dad was a coke addict that's very healthy at 74. Had a healthy runner friend have a heart attack at 35. Just because one person can binge drink and be healthy at 80 doesn't mean that you can. You won't know until it's too late. Genetics can be a blessing and a curse. My grandmother lived to 84 after a few Miz and smoked Virginia Slim 100s until the day she died. Another elderly woman I knew had lymphoma, beat it, all while still smoking during COVID, and died in her sleep at 74, a year after getting remission. That was my grandmother. The doctor even told her not to quit because the stress could kill her. I went to high school with someone that had lung cancer at 24 and never smoked. She beat, but she seems to be prone to cancer because she has had breast and then skin cancer also. She must be catching it early because she beats it every time. That life goes by fast, especially after 25. You find this out when someone says, "Hey, remember what life was like 10 years ago?" And you think back to 2004, not 2014. Junior high school, you're moving at the same speed as a rickety African train on wooden tracks. The years just seem to crawl by. College, you've just stepped onto diesel-pulled train that does not move dead slow but at the same time moves with a determined velocity. The first 2 years are slow. Then speed noticeably picks up in year 3. Work, you've just stepped onto the high-speed Shinkansen. You look out the window and the scenery is just sometimes a blur. Where did 10 years of my life go to? Where did 20 years go? Nobody tells you how fast life gets once you get into the world of work. I like to think it's because we spend our workdays just wishing the day was over and looking forward to the weekend. That and doing the same task over and over, your body just kind of goes on autopilot. I try to have fun at work and enjoy my time there as much as possible. We'll see if it makes a difference. As a guy who just turned 25 and thought that life was speeding through in the last 5 years, what the fuck? Oh, it gets so much worse. You can't imagine. I'm 36, and I could swear it was yesterday when I thought, fuck, I'm 30 now. You stop caring so much because you've just had enough. It's very relaxing. If you mean you stop caring what others think about you, I definitely agree. It's a very freeing feeling. Lack of physical activity is a huge one. Just because you aren't overweight does not mean you don't need regular exercise. The benefits go far beyond weight loss. Exercise maintains the health of your bones and joints. It also maintains many of your internal organ systems, and currently we're learning that it even helps to maintain the telomeres on your chromosomes, effectively slowing down the aging process itself. Very much all of this. People only think exercise is useful only for weight loss, but the benefits of exercise is independent and can exceed those of weight loss alone. For example, exercise can decrease your risk of heart disease by 30%, but weight loss, by diet alone, will only decrease it by 10%. Exercise also targets fat around your organs first, visceral fat, so even if your weight and abdo measurement size does not change, your internal organs, i.e. in fatty liver, are still reaping the benefits. It also decreases inflammation, which is relevant in so many things including depression, anxiety, memory and dementia, and decreases oxygen-free radicals, which slows down aging. People are always looking for the golden bullet in health, overlooking the fact that simply moving is exactly that. My doctor once said, if exercise was a pill, it would be the most prescribed drug in the world. That if you had perfect eyesight up until your 40s, then be prepared for the possibility that you will have to begin wearing glasses. 80% of people suffer from presbyopia, trouble focusing nearby items, by their mid-40s. It's a very common part of aging and the reason why most older folks need readers, e.g. reading glasses. It's just something you don't think about until it happens to you. I'm an eye doc. It's 99.5% of people, to varying degrees of severity. If I get you to perfect refraction at distance, you'll need help up close. But I see fine up close without my glasses. Good for you, you're a bit myopic and can do that. Only case I've seen that didn't require reading glasses into their 50s had form frust keratoconus and basically had a nice built-in aspheric optics that gave them a bump of plus to assist with the near vision. I'd say that they were a product of good luck. Some people have tiny pupils and have increased depth of field, but to get there, they need good lighting. Anyway, light is your friend. Even if you don't need glasses, prepare for your vision to degrade. If you started with better than 20/20 vision, then your vision declining could still be considered perfect vision. It still really messes with your brain, and you're required to change behaviors, like taking a few steps closer, to see the same way you used to. This just hit me within the last few weeks. My vision has always been top-notch both near and far sight. I have noticed I'm having trouble reading smaller print I used to have no problems with, especially on monitors. Staring at monitors all day long for both work and hobby definitely doesn't help. 32 years old.